Hey there, I'm gonna walk us through making some predictions with scatterplots, specifically doing a little bit more of the math. There's a couple of homework problems you have like this. So I've got some data here, brown bears and wolves. We might be interested in how their populations change together in a particular natural area. So I'm going to select my data. I'm going to enter a chart. It didn't give me a scatter plot right away, but that's something I can fix here in Setup and under Chart Type. I'll just scroll down to Scatter, do a quick look. It looks like the scales are both going up consistently. If that doesn't happen, you might need to use column A as labels, just so you know if you run into that in the future. I'm going to put in my trend line, so I'm going to go to Customize, open up Series, scroll down, click on trend line, and there is my trend line for wolves and bears. There's two different kinds of predictions we talked about doing. One of those was if there are, say, 100 brown bears, can I predict the number of wolves? And with my graph, it looks like if there were 100 brown bears, there'd be about 150 wolves. That's one kind of prediction. The other kind of prediction I can do is talk about how the two populations change together. So I'm here where there are 100 brown bears and 150 wolves. Say I go up to 125 bears. So I've increased my number of bears by 25. How much have my wolves increased? So it looks like down here, again, 100 brown bears gave 150 wolves. 125 brown bears looks like it's close to 250 wolves, something like that. So I could basically say that maybe if brown bears increased by 25, my wolves would increase by 100. And that would be a way of thinking about how the two populations change together. But we can do this actually a little bit more specifically. So I'm going to move some things out of the way here, and we're going to do a calculation. That. There are two parts to this trend line. There's a slope and there's an intercept, and this is part of your homework. So I'm going to calculate my slope and I'm going to calculate my intercept. And these are things that I use to make predictions. The formula for slope is just slope. So that's handy and straightforward. If this doesn't show up, this hint, and you need to look at it, you can just click on that question mark. So it looks like I need to do my data Y. This is my data Y, that second column. And then I need to put in a comma. So that's a comma right there. And then I need data X. There we go. That will give me my slope. Now, this is very much like that number I just talked about, where if I increased my number of brown bears by 25, I increased my number of wolves by 100. That 100 to 25 ratio, like if I were to increase by 25 and then go up by 100, that's also like 4 wolves for every 1 bear. So if I do 100 divided by 25, okay, wolves per 1 bear. That's my slope. That's my estimate for my slope. So we actually got pretty close. That 3.67 is close to 4. So I'm going to put wolves per bears. Okay. And then my intercept, the formula here is also pretty straightforward. It's just intercept. And I'll put in my Y, comma, X. This doesn't have a whole lot of meaning on its own, but we do use it to make predictions. So let's say I wanted to know how many wolves would there be for 85 brown bears. Okay. I can look in my graph. It's somewhere around here, and it looks like it'd be close to 100. So how do I do this? I'm going to start with an equal sign. I take my slope. That's the number of wolves for every 1 bear, and I multiply by my 85 bears. Okay, so that's how many wolves I should increase for my 85 bears. But I need to use this intercept as sort of a weird starting value that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, just to make sure the number turns out right. And I get about 99 bears, 99 wolves for those 85 bears. And that's my prediction.